think I'm training you guys to be late. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm doing because I just keep adjusting settings and having such a good time in here. But I've had some pretty good times lately, just playing around with options, talking to you guys in the Facebook group and all that. It's been a good time. So good morning. I hope all is well. We're going to talk about the time it takes to build all these crazy custom lights today. That'll be coming up. I may or may not have an intro. Apparently I do. I don't know. Can't hear it. Hear my other music. What's up, Al? What's up, Hunter? What's up, Frankie S? Theodore? Man, we got Frankie and Theodore today. We don't normally have them. That's pretty dope. I dig that. Sean Paymer, what's up, my man? Spectrum Retro fits in the hears. Stephen Forbes, how long on those Veloster? Oh man, that's funny. We actually are going to be doing a whole series on all the Blue Ghost stuff, and the Veloster lights are right up there. I love that you always ask about that, Stephen Forbes, by the way. And your boy has the craziest, most awesome photography that I've been seeing lately, on and on and on. And it's just been, I don't know, it's been cool. I can't wait to get Corey just dialed in and be seeing all the pictures and stuff. I haven't been on Instagram much at all, so that's been a little bit different. Definitely been focusing on changing a lot of stuff up and getting a lot of the course stuff done. So time, that's totally what this has all been about, right? We're talking about how long it takes to do different stuff. And one of the things specifically on those Veloster lights that I was just talking to Steven about is that it has the factory LEDs in one of the main like position, like the DRL, right? Hey, we got a new member, Ivan. Welcome, man. Hey, there's Corey right there. What up, Corey? And so we've got these new parts, and Corso Motion has been getting ready to launch their pre-made, ready, good to go. Order the stuff, comes in a sheet, it's got everything all dialed, and then go to town on it. And after all the waiting on Corey's lights, I was like, we definitely need to have some switchback sequential in there as well. We got the addressable RGB, and actually in the Facebook group we had JP just posted up something. I'll actually show it on screen here in just a bit, but it's got what looks like ghost animated, like ghost sequencer, 28 channel, like good to go, work with the factory LED stuff. That's changing all the red lights, doing a bunch of cool things. And then he also tied in Blue Ghost, and then he's got a lower strip that's doing all of that. Definitely made me think about what the possibilities are with those Veloster lights. And at this point, really, with as long, that was a 20K prize. I'll build your lights. It'll take me a year and a half, but I'll build your lights. Crazy. No refunds. Let's see who else is in the house. We got Justin. We got Michael Sandoval. Obviously, we got Corey McDonald. Welcome, man. John Paul Whitehead in the house. And I've been loving seeing everybody in the Facebook group. If you don't know about the Facebook group, let's check that out. We've got Facebook here and bio. What do you see? This is our group, and this is a new thing. Check this out. We've got the ability to do messenger rooms. Crazy. So that's how we're going to get you guys on these live broadcasts. Should be cool. I'm super looking forward to it. Let's see if we could show off JP's work. Now, normally I tag everything in here. So like if it's a configuration file, it'll just show all the configurations like these Lambo tails. Super, super dope. But I know my man JP posted up something crazy. I want to show it off real quick. And it shows regular ghost sequencer, and it shows, ooh, goodies arrived today. Love when I see that. Awesome for Dylan Hanley. Let's see. There they are. Boom. Look at these things. So crazy. So you see the parking lights, all of that has factory LEDs going on. That's not addressable. F1 style brakes. You got all those different modes that you get from messing around with a regular 28 channel sequencer. I love that. It's awesome. And then he blows your brain out with all of the fancies at the bottom. Look at that. That's all addressable. I love the thought of having switchback sequential down there as well as addressable. That sounds crazy to me. I don't know. That might just be me. I think it sounds super, super dope. What do you guys think about doing some Blue Ghost stuff coming up here? It's not going to be, I mean, it will be in Sequential Squad, so very much on brand, but I definitely think that's the way that we need to, on the broadcast, wrap up this 20K giveaway. So 45,000 subscribers ago, Corey came in, drove a bunch of traffic to the group, to the whole thing, the FlyRyde basically, and he won himself a cool custom build. And it's been progressively getting more and more involved because I felt progressively more and more guilty over how long I've taken to do all of this stuff. But that really is the goal for the channel, right? We want to be able to do the jobs that people are asking about, not just the ones that are right in front of me. So that's kind of like this whole question in this video of how long does it take to build a set of custom lights, custom sequential lights. In Corey's case, a really, really long freaking time. For me, I'm different, right? My focus is not build lights as fast as I can, get another set, build lights as fast as I can. So it's a little different, but I still want to be faster than I am. I still want to be more focused, and I'm sharing more come of that. So Corso Motion in the house. What's up, sir? That's some really good talk. Derek's like, laugh out loud, I want a refund. Exactly. That's what happens, man. You take a long time, and that's literally what people are all about. Because it's an expectation thing, right? It's like, if you, especially this is what I tell guys in the group that ask me. I explained to one of our guys earlier, Tom. He was asking about me building a set of lights, and I'm like, it's not that I don't want to build his lights for him. It's that there's a guy who will be focused on doing that particular job, that crazy, like BMW. He's done it a million times. He'll be able to go through there and do that not only faster than me, he'll be able to do it better. He's also not going to be focused on making a bunch of videos and all the things that really keep me super involved, right? And so I think he took it as I was saying that, well, somebody else will do a better job than me because they're just better than me. Like, I'm putting myself down. Totally not the case. I'm super focused on a certain few things. Derek, for example, one of our guys in chat here, has a GTR who is getting some crazy headlights. We've also got DJ Boom's got these crazy DRLs that are coming. Let's see if we could show something cool. Come on, baby. Look at that. Sequential DRLs to go with his headlights and the taillights and all that stuff that he's got coming. And then we've got Slush HD. He's got his taillights coming. These are all GTR things. They're things I've done a bunch of times. I'm going to do a great job on those. What I'm not going to do, though, is take on my dude Tom's BMW taillights and then just mix that in with that, because then he's going to be waiting forever. And at the end of the day, there's a guy that could be so much faster at that because that's what he's focused on. So it all comes down to like niching down and focusing on just those one things that you do better than anybody. And as long as I know that there's a guy out there that does BMW lights, I will happily send him, Tom, as many people as ask me about building their BMW lights to said dude, like I do with the Subarus and Sinister Retro Works. Like, why would I not send Subaru guys there? Because he's just gonna crush the job. He's gonna do things that I cry about, like those headlights and taillights back there that are so difficult to build, so time consuming, and I would either have to choose between building just those lights or building the content, doing the streams, doing all of the stuff that is not me, keeping my hands busy, head down, soldering and working with tools and all that stuff quietly by myself and getting things done. That's what it takes to get a lot of jobs out. You just focus, head down, grinding. Let's see. Justin says, Chris, I'm actually going to build my own business on custom sequential taillights and headlights. I'm located east side Orlando. Great, dude. It's an international deal. I mean, you should build these things no matter where you're located at. Michael Sandoval, how can I get the LEDs you get for installs? Good question, dude. Pretty much everything that I use, I talk about who the businesses are, what the companies are. I'm really, really excited about some upcoming stuff that I found out about yesterday. I'll be shouting that from the rooftops. But in general, Corso Motion is where I'm getting a lot of LEDs from. I've got some stuff from Unique LED. I've got a ton of parts from the Retrofit Source, from Diode Dynamics. There's a ton of different things that are out there, and then some of the parts are actually like my own brand, right? FlyRyde brand, things that I buy in bulk or that I had produced, and I sell those as well. Derek says, I want a refund, which scares me, and Justin Herlin says, yeah, live stream, dope, sweet. Hunter says, welcome, Ivan, Mr. Mentor, watching from North Carolina. On that note, you know what I'm gonna do? Where in this world are you watching from? Right now, hit it up in chat. Let's read off where everybody is at. Corso Motion says, great place to share infos together. Join Sequential Squad. He's like, bro, join, get in there. Get on the website, get in the Facebook group. It's a good place to be. Justin says, Blue Ghost is dope. Yeah, it's not that it's bad, but the two names are so close together that Ghost and Blue Ghost, it confuses people. They're like, isn't that Ghost? It's like, it is, but which Ghost do you mean? It's kind of like brothers, right? Is it this brother or is it that brother? They both have the same last name. They're both Ghost. They just do different things. You know what I'm saying? Is that weird? Is that a bad thing? Don't grow up, it's a trap. It's a true story. Yeah, but check out these lights. I'm using them to light my face because it's kind of dark in here. A little bit too dark. I don't know. In any case, let's start reading where you guys are at right now. And let's see. I'll go back up and read other things. And a super chat from DJ Boom like always, which is crazy. That's my dude that creates art in a bright way. Yeah, buddy. And that's my dude DJ Boom that keeps me going. He's always giving me props and making me feel good. Tim Shield says, what's up everyone? I'm here now. And we should all know where he's watching from. So, oh, I just saw a weird name. I see Frankie's in Florida. That's dope. Hunter Joy. How many Hunters do we got now? Hunter Joy's in Washington. And we've got Tim in Indiana. Dylan Weaver that gave me the monitor that I'm looking at right now. Literally. Right now. That one. So that's you guys in chat. It's pretty good. Thank you, Dylan. You're the man. Charlie Berger, what up? He's watching from Vegas. James, Hillbilly Hydrographics is in Tennessee. Jake is in Hastings. Darren Ottman in Florida. And Hunter K says, I got my soldering gun in yesterday. Sweet. Al is in Trinidad and Tobago. Kyle is from White Cliffs of Dover. White Cliffs of Dover. Sounds amazing. All right. Hunter is in Texas. Man, you guys are all over the place. Corso Motion, LA County, of course. And Donald in St. Louis. What up? Yeah, so I asked a question today in Facebook, and I just said, what's your biggest challenge? And so that's going to be a question that I start putting off in a bunch of the emails as well, because I'm going to start segmenting everybody out into different groups, different buckets. You're going to have your buyer, the guy that like comes to the site, he sees some cool stuff, maybe he has a specific car, GTR, WRX, something like that, and he wants to buy a product. Now, as time goes on, I'll completely phase out buying any of the custom work because I do want that to be set aside for content, right? And not have people waiting on me for things that they've, paid because they saw it on somebody else's car, they saw it on Instagram, they saw whatever. But in any case, that guy would come to the site and he'd see that there's some options to get some of these cool things for his car. He doesn't want to hear the information about building a lighting business. He doesn't want to hear the information about how to, solder a bunch of wires and stuff like that. He's interested in the thing, the product. I want to buy some LED bulbs. I want to buy some lightning bolts. I want to get this stuff so that another guy can install it, whatever that might be. And so as I'm sending out a bunch of emails, I don't want him to get inundated with, here's how you start a business and blah, 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 right? And just like vice versa with that. The guy that just wants to show up because he's retired, he understands electronics, he likes hanging out, he likes the group, he doesn't want to buy anything, he doesn't want to buy courses, he's not looking at like doing anything where he's like progressing forward and starting a business. He's already done that. He's not interested. He just likes the stuff. He's a hobbyist. He just wants to be around other people. Dude, we got tons of content for that guy. We got tons of community for that guy. That's what he's after. So he's going to get that delivered. And then the guys that are like, hey, I want to start this. I want to go at it. Or I've been going at it and I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall. And Chris is talking about things that I'm going through right now and failure and learning all this stuff and branding and all the business end of it. Then he's going to be in a third bucket, right? And so I want to send off all these emails specific to what actually helps people because I don't want to bug you. So that'll all be coming. In chat though, let me know, because I asked this in the Facebook group, and if you're not in the Facebook group, again, I will roll the thing, do that. I just put the link in the chat, so you can definitely just click on that, sign up on the website. It takes you right through everything, so that it dumps you off on the Facebook page. It'll be good. But I want to know, I have no idea what my dude just put there. Thanks for being here, dude whose name starts with X. But what kind of stuff are you struggling with? Or what are you here for? Like, do you want to buy the products? Are you waiting on the product forever, it seems like? Are you wanting to learn how to do this stuff to just tinker? Are you wanting to learn how to do this stuff as a business and make some bucks from it? Use it as a side hustle, support your fam, all that stuff. Let me know in chat. That will be great. And then we'll talk. We'll talk a little bit more about specific times to build things and how to kind of gauge what amount of time you should not only charge for, but estimate for, and how that you can get better at that too. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Dylan said, I told you I got you, bro. Got me. Michael Sandoval is watching in Colorado. That's dope. Love it. Love how many of you guys are watching from all over the place. And Justin asked a question, Chris, what was your hardest set of taillights? Gave you a headache. Every set of taillights. They're so hard. They're so much harder than headlights. Ridiculous. I would say though, the hardest set of taillights, probably the very first set of the Sequential 2015 GTR headlights that I did way back. It's because I had to learn a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I've done lots of Genesis coupe lights before that where you'd fix something, but the product wasn't that good to begin with, the actual taillights, and things would go bad as you'd work on them. And so like you're making all this cool animated stuff, and then one of the parking lights that you haven't even touched, you haven't modified it at all, a little LED goes bad on that. Now you're sitting there fixing things. Fixing stuff sucks, man. Time to fix things, not good. Don't enjoy that at all. All right, let's see. Tim says, see, I love it. You guys are already connecting. Tim's just asking James where he's at. Saying he's 30 minutes away from Indy right now. Super dope. Spectrum says, you're going to segregate us? Possibly. But I might have a guy who wants to buy parts. He's a hobbyist, but kind of curious about starting that business. He's going to get all 3 emails. So I'm more going to spare you the vomiting of information, because I love to do that. I just love to put it out there. People encourage me to do it, so I don't really see me stopping anytime soon. Ooh, and check it out, Kajabi Hero. Kajabi is the software that I have to pay for every month or every year so that I can host all of this stuff on the site. So when people sign up for the online courses, that's huge because it's not like a big profitable thing for me. You know, I intend it to be at some point, but right now, as long as it's getting paid for, that's a huge win for me. Because it's, I don't know, it's expensive. This stuff costs thousands and thousands. But that's also how I can send emails and I can do all that cool stuff. So when I send you links, or I send you emails and there's links in there and you click on those things and it takes you to different stuff that lets me know what you're interested in, I can actually track that and then use that to only serve you that kind of information. It's a big thing. So I will say, bringing this whole thing back to the title of this video, when it comes to building sequential lights, you're pretty much always looking at a very solid minimum of 15 to 20 hours building one set of lights. And if you've ever built lights, you know that 15 to 20 hours, it almost translates to somebody who's going to shell out money for that as like, well, there's 24 hours in a day. Dude's going to work 15 of them on my lights. Oh, he's not. That's crazy. It's 15 to 20 focused hours. You might only get 1 or 2 focused hours in a day. Do that math. It's a little different. Let me know if you have experienced that in chat. If you've built any sequential lights, how many hours on average, or I don't know, you got a horror story you want to share, or some triumphant story of, man, 3 hours in and I was already done and made a ton of money. Share that. Want to hear it in chat? Want to hear it on the group? Let's hear about it. Okay. James, what question did you want to know too? That I'm curious about. And I so wish that I knew what dude with the X in his name, Zershid, was asking, but I don't know. Derek says, I want to learn how to tinker with my lights that I would own and problem solve issues instead of relying on someone to go to and not have to wait for their time. Dude, that's like the best, Derek, because nobody wants to do that, and they should. Like, they're paying for the ability to have all these cool things that they can do, and most of the guys that can afford that stuff, they're not willing to do it. And there's so much cool functionality. And you know what? This is a message directly for Derek, because he just had a baby. The kids, dude, it's so fun. It's so fun to see the kid pushing the buttons on the remote and knowing that they did the thing, and now let light change color, or Daddy, can I do this? Or we've got the examples here in the group. We've got 6-year-old daughter that's sitting there programming this stuff with John Paul. Tim's daughter, Gracie, she's 14. She's doing the animation. Like, I don't know. To me, that's a super cool thing to be able to have this little access to this strange little magic world where you can actually make things. Share that with the kids. Like, that's their homie at school doesn't have their buddy's dad can't do that. You know what I mean? So I really think it's a special thing, especially because you don't have people that are freaking out like, oh, that's illegal. Like, dude, you're 6. You don't care if it's illegal or not. You just know it's blinky and it's awesome and it's blue and purple and you like those colors, right? So I love that approach. Derek says he wants to be able to do it himself, not have to necessarily wait for everybody else. Justin says, you made a video with the GTR. In the back of you, was it those taillights? I made a lot of videos with those taillights, dude. Lots of them. Those are the 09 to 14 GTR taillights. Al says, dude, you know I want to learn everything to start my side biz. Yeah, man, well, Al's got access to everything because he's in the academy. He was my 50K winner. So we were talking earlier about Corey at 20K. Al came in at 50K, and he touched my heart. He told me a dope little message. I thought it was sick. So I really thought that would be the right way to go. Al won. Now he gets access to all the stuff. So he wants all the emails too. That's dope. Tim says he's not lying. I would rather do headlights over taillights any day. I would bet permaseal headlights are about as bad as most taillights. You know what's weird, Tim? You would think so, but here's the little side thing to that. Headlights, if you cut them open, because they're permasealed, you actually get efficient about that, cleaning them up and using the right tools and everything else. You could probably do them just about as fast as butyl. It's just that redoing things is always insanely hard. That's the worst. So it's going to be more messy. It's going to take time to cure overnight and all that. Not going to be the same as just pop them in the oven, rip them apart, mess around with it. Sinister. Jake says permaseal is a B. Sister says I want to do it as a hobby. Too late for that. Permaseal is the devil. Absolutely. Yeah, so the cool thing about a lot of the guys that are in the group is they probably started as a hobby. They started taking on customers, and they're teaching themselves as they go. And that's why a lot of this stuff gets difficult, because one of the guys in the Facebook group earlier was talking about he has a hard time quoting out how much time it's going to take, because he's like guessing, right? There's also a whole separate side of how long something's going to take, and that's how much time do you think is too long to quote the customer because it'll scare them off. That's like the thing under the thing. You're not afraid to quote the actual amount of money that you want to get out of it so much as you are afraid of scaring the guy off by being honest. And so in most cases you have these guys that are like, oh yeah, that's like a That should take me like 15, 20 hours. Well, if you think it's gonna take you 15, 20 hours, it's probably gonna take you 35. Like right off the bat. Basically double any number that you think in your head, because you're wrong, for sure. We know you're wrong. We just don't know how wrong you are. And that comes down to past experience and have you done it a bunch of times, that exact thing? Do you know exactly how long that should take you? Because until you do, and until you've done it a bunch of times in a row, over and over and over, gotten better and better at it, then you don't actually know how long it takes you. You're just guessing. You're just hoping. You're probably gonna be wrong. Actually, I just said it. You're for sure wrong. I'm telling you right now. That's my stance. I already know you're wrong if you're guessing. All right. Yeah. Sinister says, congrats, Derek. Welcome to the No Sleep Club. Hey, Shotgun 305. Do you already have a light set up for the Pontiac G8 GT? I do. I keep all the lights for every car in a back room over here. It's got everything. I'm just kidding. I don't have anything for you ever. Not because I don't want to, but that's just not realistic. There's no lights, there's no setup. Everything's custom. It's all made to order. It's all made after the person delivers that information and what they want, what would be awesome. So there's a whole huge thing that goes into actually selling the stuff, and nobody ever has custom lights just sitting on a shelf that's what you want. They might have something that's a little bit less than what you want, more than what you want, but it's never what you want. So it's a hard thing to talk to buyers about, like, expectations and if something's actually ever going to be ready. But I won't really be taking like custom orders for anything outside of my exact super narrow focus. So GTR stuff will still be in until I phase that out, and then I want another guy like Mike West, who's just crushing GTR jobs, to just be the go-to, the bypass. It's like, come to me, bounce off me, go to Mike West. That's what I want for everybody that's a niche leader. And I've got some monsters in the group too, so that's super awesome. Michael says, I've been watching your work since I've seen you on Mike's channel. Wow, when you did his lights on his R35. Yeah, that was like, what, 4 years ago? 3.5, 4 years ago? With Mike, and then he freaking atomic bombed his whole internet thing. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Jake says, and I've been here since about 10K or so. Man, I was at 10K when I just started messing around with stuff with TJ Hunt. So it's pretty crazy though. Like, you know, the weird thing is the videos, and by the way, we're gonna be talking all about social media here. We're gonna do some series coming up. So I'm gonna be filming a bunch of stuff and doing a lot of the course content and stuff too, but I'll be talking with you guys as well. And it comes down to how you want to do your photography, things like if you're making videos and stuff like that, what platforms to use. We'll go through a lot of that stuff as well, because I do want to help out the business guys, and I think it'll be interesting, and we'll all just be hanging out anyway while I go through that stuff. Even if you're not trying to do your own business, it might be interesting to see a little bit behind the curtain and what I think about, and maybe what helps the other guys that are in the group, help them get their stuff out there as well. But I'll tell you this, nobody's gonna do it for you. No, there's no Mike or TJ or like some shop or anybody that you work with that's gonna make it happen for you. It all just comes from making something that's actually valuable, putting it out there, and it helping people, and it being not terribly boring. That's good, and it can grow. I've never got, I mean, the other day I got a few hundred subscribers from a dude shouting me out, Jack at Dirty Max. Like, super dope guy. I loved it. It was hugely appreciated. But that's just like a little bloop, and then my line continues. So wherever I was at before that happened is right where I'm at right after. I've just got a little bit of extra subscribers on the channel or whatever. So it's a definitely a slow grind until you find your little like segment that you need to just focus on. Just keep hitting that. They say, like, find a lever that works and just keep yanking on it. Same one. Stop changing it up. Find the thing that works. Do that over and over again. So that's the same way I feel about building lights. Find the ones that you're uniquely good at. Probably shouldn't do the ones that everybody else does. Like, hey, I started a custom lighting business. I can do your 350Z headlights. Sounds good, man. Good luck. Let's see what else we got. I want some more questions. Tim said Gracie had to learn that turn signal animations couldn't have white lights on the WRX. True story. I mean, they can, but like they shouldn't, right? I've actually had quite a few guys request this, that they really wanted to have their white LEDs animated on the GTR. And the only way that you can do that is with a different board that doesn't have quite as many channels for each color, but it is possible. Tim said, let's see. I said show mode, yes. Turn signal, no. There you go. Jake says suddenly turn on reverse lights. Laugh out loud. People gonna be paying close attention to what you're doing, right? I think that's awesome. Fatal Street's in the house. What up? Didn't see you there. All right, and let's see. I'm reading so many questions. Yep, TJ's GTR is where I came in. You know what's funny? As I don't know if I ever really touched TJ's GTR. He had just got that. He had just hit 500,000 subs right when I met him, and had just bought a GTR. Interesting. So, in any case, yeah, guys, I'm actually at the bottom of chat. That's freaking amazing. So, I do want to talk a little bit more about the timing and people that are kind of guessing at what they should do. I already did say, if you're going to be selling your work, you really do want to make sure that you're not just guessing and putting it out there. But it's hard because you're afraid of losing the job. So here's a question for everybody. Angel, what up? Been watching your videos, trying to learn something. Excited to finally watch a stream. Glad you're here. Awesome. And Al says, dude, I can't get channel membership in my country. Can you do anything about it? I can call your country. I will make it right. I'm just kidding. So here is a question for you guys. It's a question for everybody. If this is not your full-time gig and you are not living and dying on your custom lighting business, if it's just your side gig and it brings in money that helps you, but if you don't make any of that money in a month, you're not like screwed, right? Like I have no safety net. There's no me not succeeding. There's no me not bringing in money somehow with FlyRyde. So I'm kind of all in, right? Swinging for the fences, gotta survive, gotta keep going. But if, yeah, Dylan Weaver says VPN, good option. Actually, Jake said that. And if you're not living and dying on your custom lighting business and somebody's asking you to do something that will do one of two things, they either help you if you do it the right way and you quote it properly, or hurt you and take away money that you just worked hard at your normal 9 to 5, and now it's going to cut into that. And for sure, something huge that I love that I saw James put in the Facebook group earlier was that there's this life balance crap, right? There's a lot of people like my wife. I love her. She's massively supported. She's dealt with everything that I've gone through for years and years, and ups and downs, roller coaster ride, all that. But she grew up with a dad that went to work and then clocked out and came home. And I grew up with a dad that owned a business and was just always at work, like mentally never quite checked out. And so we have very different concepts of what the day should look like. And for her, to save her life, she cannot help herself from after it hits 5 o'clock. She just shows up, like her face just right over there, just boop, and then she'll stand there and wait. So if I'm streaming or I'm drilling something or whatever, she's ready for me to clock out. She also knows that I never clock out and that I'm never not working. I'm always thinking about work. I'm always doing all that stuff. So it's a completely different concept. So if you've got this thing going on, like the struggle with work-life balance and all of that, then above and beyond all other reasons, why would you ever take on a job if you don't have to? Why would you take on a job that you don't know how long it's going to take? You're going to guess. You're going to hope that it turns into something that's positive. But based on past experience and everybody else and just the fact that you can't read the future, it's probably going to actually cut into all of your other stuff. And or you're going to end up burning the candle at both ends so that you can get the thing done, not do as well of a job, try to do it in too short of a time, and then at the end of the day, you're kind of like, did I just spin my wheels? Did I just lose money on that came out of my earnings over here that took out of my time with my family, which is the whole reason I'm making money in the first place. Like, what am I doing? Like, why is all this happening? Here's the point. If you're trying to figure out the time and what you should charge for everything, do it so that it helps you and makes you happy. That's it. And don't do it if it doesn't do those things. Because if you're not like surviving on it, then it should always be a huge benefit. Like every single job you do should help you. And that's kind of what it comes down to. Like if you can communicate that to people and you lose a bunch of different jobs and you don't get to book them, you just dodged a bunch of bullets. Because those were not the jobs that you were supposed to take anyway. Really. I'm begging you to believe me. Boys talking about VPNs. Trying to help out my man Al. But the reality is this, man. If you're gonna quote a job, and to not lose that job, you're gonna inconvenience yourself. Luis, what up, Luis? If you're gonna do that and it's gonna, mess you up, then like you should have stayed in bed that day. That's all I say. I don't think that there's any reason that now, if you just have to survive, you got to make the money no matter what. You got to pay the bill. You got to do whatever. A lot of times, that's where you make bad decisions. You take things on that you shouldn't. They end up turning into monsters. Now you're stuck. It gets nasty. It's not good to be in a position to where you really need to take on jobs, like to where you're surviving on this hobby or this cool little thing that you got. So I think it's just an overall strategy that you kind of have to have going into all this stuff, is that you just gotta know, is it gonna help you or is it gonna hurt you? So I just tell everybody, you need to have a really, really clear like decision made in your own head. That's like, if somebody comes up to you and says, will you build my lights? I've got random job. Just say no, because you don't know how long that's gonna take. If you want to post up your cool work, you want to show people what it is, show them the stuff that you want them to buy, because then those guys are going to hit you up. And when a guy hits you up and it's like, hey, will you do my my Pontiac? Right? And chat. Do you have cool lights for Pontiac ready to go? Nope, sure don't. Do you have lights for a truck? Nope, I sure don't. I don't do trucks. I don't do this. I don't do that. And you're going to have to say no a ton of times. But then at the end of the day, that means that every time that you say yes, it's a win. And all of those no's were actually you just dodging bullets, Matrix style. Does that make sense? You guys that are watching, I know we don't have exclusively headlight builders and stuff in here, but it's a hard thing to say, because I'm basically saying, like, you have this opportunity to make money, but like, you have an opportunity to make money doing stuff you don't want to do all day. Like, you could go shovel elephant crap at the circus like Steve-O. I'm sure they'd pay you. I don't know if that's worth doing it. Sounds pretty bad. Frankie says, I know how to do one, I just don't know how to connect the other. The other one that I have to put a separate box. I have no idea what we're talking about. My bad. How to connect two separate RGB to the battery and app. Got it, man. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta get in there with the wires and double them up. So you've got, like, on these WRX lights back there, they have RGB on both sets of lights, and we're literally just taking there's a little ring that lights up, and then there's these little gills that light up, and so there's a driver for each one of those. They all come to the little driver box, all the wires do, and then each of those boxes has RGB wires. So all of those RGB wires, this box and this box, come together, power, blue, green, red, right? And then all of those wires go to a harness, and it taps everything into one of these. And that is a XK Chrome little Bluetooth controller that'll just do one channel, but it'll turn the Gills colors and the Angelized colors in both lights. So that's, I do have a course that I'm working on right now that I just filmed a bunch for yesterday. That is all of the wiring. I originally called it RGB, like a wiring harness thing. I realized I just want to make it for all kinds of wires, all kinds of crazy setups. So we had to change the type of plugs that go onto those WRX lights, because it's for a special kind of WRX, not a normal one, a Sport Tech. So we had to completely change everything up, solder in a bunch of different wires, get the other connector on there, and now it's good to go. But I figured that should be information that's in a course, so you can actually understand how to join all the different components together, how to extend stuff, how to shorten it, and I even shot a quick little YouTube how to solder video. I think that was for my man John Paul. Who asked about that? Or was it Hunter? I forgot which one it was. Over the last few days in videos, we've definitely had a few questions repeat themselves. So I'm trying to keep track. So if you're in the Facebook group, comment on the thing that I asked at the beginning of this video too, which was, what are you struggling with the most? And on that note, tell me again right now in chat. Let me know. Frankie just asked about RGB. What kind of stuff are you guys struggling with? And Tim said you're going to have Mike West guest host the wiring videos. I'm going to have Mike West be just on the show because we've got the ability to have all of you guys actually in the Facebook group on here. So I really want to do that, and I want to have people like my dude JP with his Lambo. I want him to be able to hop on here. It should work to where you'll be able to use your phone to be in the Facebook group, and it should allow us to see what you're looking at on your phone. I think it's gonna be awesome because it'll be live and it should just be a good time. That is what I think is gonna happen. We'll see if I'm right. I might be wrong, but in any case, we'll find out. Dylan says, getting started. So many irons in the fire. Yeah, man. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game, just juggling. That, unfortunately, is kind of the only way that it's going to work. You're just going to have a lot of stuff going on. But at the same token, you don't have to do things too much. You can only take on what you can handle. I don't know how to do that. I can only take on more than I can handle. Jake says, I give a friends and family discount. Blood is labor for labor, and not blood is 50%, because I still love them, and they will get my name out. It's hard though, man. You gotta be careful with that. There are so many things. I'm like top of the list of the offender of the guy that takes on things that he shouldn't. Mainly because like you want to do things for people that help you get the word out, but it's really, really easy to take on too much. So I think the whole issue of time is just coming to understand like how long everything takes you to actually do. It's crazy. Like saying that something's going to take you 15 hours, like that's a lot of time to actually have calculated out that X amount of those hours are going to go towards soldering these wires up. Some of those hours are going to go towards testing the stuff. Some of those hours, get this, are going to go towards getting a box ready. Some of that money that you charged might have to go for the bubble wrap and getting things in the boxes and doing all the stuff. Like there's so many different aspects of it for one job. Granted, if you're not ever dealing with people that ship you lights, that's a little bit easier. But if you are sitting there the whole time and just building lights, and then even a local guy is going to come through, time to take off bumpers, time to do all this stuff, like it sucks. It's a hard thing to actually keep track of everything because you're only thinking about how long it's going to take you to do like the initial work. So like on these WRX headlights for me, the time it took to actually assemble most of the stuff was not that long, but to finish it was about twice as long as to get to that point. So you're starting to send videos and updates to your customer and you're like, yeah, check it out. Like I'm 8 hours in and this is where we're at. We got the rings are changing color. Dude, you just have the rings hooked up to the driver, plugged in on the bench, and you're testing them, taking a dope picture, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, send it to your guy. But to have those things ready to go on the vehicle, insane. DJ Boone just said, how are those DRLs? They're right here. My man is going to be painting them the OEM color for Mr. DJ Boom as well. And so as soon as we can, we are going to have a bunch of stuff getting painted all at once. So it's actually been nice to have a little break on sending so many things over to the paint shop. I used to walk down there constantly, burn so many trips. Sinister says takes 4 to 5 hours to make the deletes from scratch. Dude, and those deletes are crazy. Like you're making something out of nothing. So putting in a ring, mounting it, and then having the wire coming out the back of the light is about a third the time that it's going to take. The rest of the time is going to be how do you route those wires. And then once you have them all routed and they're going through all the things so that they're waterproof, like, because you can't just have things hanging out the back of a light, holes everywhere. Obviously everything has to be super clean. All those things take at least twice as long as you think they're going to, and you're probably not going to be ultra focused on it the whole way through. You're just going to be bouncing from task to task, and task switching, multitasking and all that is like the worst. You should be in the zone. Like, you got to be so focused on the thing that you're doing and stay in that zone, and you'll produce so much faster, so much better. Everything's just like all the meticulous little steps you're doing with your hands. You're just connected, you're in there. Dude, that moment only lasts for a little while. First thing that happens, kid knocks on the door, daddy, blah, blah, blah. Wife comes in, hey, did you see the thing? Somebody asks you a question. You get like, I don't know, some sort of a big fire that you got to put out, and like you're instantly out of the zone and you're not going back. So it's also experience that kind of comes into all this stuff. Like, did you do a great job on this one, and then a not so great job on the next one that was the same way, and then you did kind of like a, you know, mediocre thing over here? Like, what's the average between how long it took you when you did that job 3 different times? Now you're starting to get to the point where you can actually quote something out. And if you've got that much experience, like, dude, you deserve the dollars that you're asking for. You deserve the hours that you're asking to be compensated for. Because imagine if people were paid based on merit at their 9 to 5. That's totally not realistic. Like, show up, work 8 hours. If you're efficient, cool. If you're not as efficient, you won't make as much money. That wouldn't work, right? People wouldn't do that. They would just show up and be like, well, but I was here, so shouldn't I get the $12 an hour? I don't know. You did like $1 worth of work in that hour. Should you really get the extra 11 for nothing? But that's how jobs work. That's how people's brains work. So it's crazy. Adam Nash says, they look amazing, Chris. Can't wait to show you the finished product on my car. So Adam Nash is waiting for those WRX lights. And every day that we talk, this subject is very on point with like how I've been talking with him, because we'll be like, okay, is this little module here? We were talking yesterday about the leveling motors. It's like, oh crap, those motors aren't in there. Does he have them? Let's make sure he does. Is everything going to be plug and play when he gets the lights? There's even one little thing. So it has a different type of plug on these lights than they came with originally. And these are the little brackets that the original plugs were on. So I figured it just makes sense, because the plug will mount differently. We'll just drill out a little hole and I'll mount those new plugs to these ones so they can be mounted in the same fashion, same location as the factory units. That's not like a huge important thing. I don't get a pat on the back for that, but it'll take time, and I didn't account for that time. These lights, oh man, they destroyed me. They took so much longer than I anticipated for, because I guessed and I just went for it. I thought it was going to be a cool thing. We built a huge quote and did that on a YouTube video, and I mean, at the end of the day, like, there's no way I could have accounted for the hours that I put in. Hanging out all night, grinding, live streams, working with you guys, coming up with animation files for him. At the end of the day, Adam's going to be pumped because he's going to have these awesome lights that do all the things that they're supposed to do. But they probably took me somewhere around like 7 or 8 times as long as I thought they were going to take to build them. That's just what it is. Sinister says, sorry, bro. No way. Get out of here. You did awesome. So I like these lights. I will never build them again because I filmed how to do the retrofit. I filmed how to do the wiring stuff on there. We filmed tons of live streams and all that stuff that'll help more people. And so there's no reason to do them again at this point moving forward, right? Because it's about the content, it's about helping more people. And so a big strategy on the channel and a lot of the videos that are coming up are going to be, what are the things that reach the most people? And a lot less about like, well, people with GTRs pay me to build GTR lights, so we'll make content on that. That won't be the case, right? Because we'll actually get to make content based on what is, I don't know, a smarter move. There's this new car coming out. It's going to have all this stuff. There's a bunch of attention to it. We'll make some lights for that. Make 1 video. Make 2 videos if they do well. Like whatever, you know, we'll focus on the things that actually have the attention, which will get in front of more people. So we can actually blow the channel up a little bit more, which has not been a huge focus of mine pretty much ever. It's never been like, oh, I just got to get big on YouTube. Like, it's nice to get to help people out for sure, but it's been finding the group, which I really feel so pumped about how everything's been going. Rose says, light hella fly. Adam Nash says, Chris, I printed a huge FlyRyde sticker. You'll be happy knowing it's going right in the middle of my back windshield. That is a small baby. You guys are gonna have to hold on for just a second. I don't know how he got out here, but I gotta put him away. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. That's not gonna work.
Right in.
Here, oh, I'm live right now.
No, he is.
Oh boy. Well, he was excited. So imagine I'm working on a set of lights. Imagine I'm in the zone. Then imagine that happens. Someone says, don't forget to lock the cage. Okay, I was saying that I printed a huge FlyRyde sticker. You'll be happy knowing it's going right in the middle of my back windshield. That's dope, dude. I mean, tell me that that's not real though, right? Derek says, haha, is that what I have to look forward to later when my daughter gets older? It is. It is. Thank you guys for the compliments. Yeah, man. It's so that, I mean, that's kind of my whole thing is there's so many other ways to make money. So many other like more profitable things to do. Almost all of those things take me away from my family. I don't know. I have very like long-term patience. And in the short term, I don't know. I'm not the friendliest dude out on the street. Not that I'm not like a good dude, blah blah blah, but I don't know. I have such little patience for bad stuff or rude stuff, all of that. It's just not the same deal. So I think the long-term patience of build a business, make a bunch of mistakes, learn from it, help as many people as I can. Don't be all shady and trick people into stuff like that. Do my best when it comes to building lights and getting things done. Figure out a way to chip away at the mountain of work that I have to overcome. That's feels good for me because I know what my intentions are and I know that I'm trying my best even though I screw up. Even though people have to wait longer than they should. And that sucks. But I know that there's never been a time that was like intentional. Like, oh, I'm gonna get their thing and then they won't be able to do anything about it. Ha ha ha. Like, wow. Definitely don't have that approach if you intend to do social media. Because number one, that's really dumb and it's wrong. But if you're gonna be building this as a side hustle and you're gonna do any of the same stuff building lights and you don't have to make that money, you got that nurse? You married a nurse? Step one, check, got it. Every job should help you out because that's what you need to be focused on. Those little dudes, little girls, you know, your fam, just that's where your brain should be. You shouldn't be sitting on the couch breathing heavy, sighing at 7:30 p.m. because, you know, your wife basically forced you to stop working and you're stressing out because you know you've got stuff that you need to do. Kids just happy to run in and see you. Working from home, doing all that stuff, like, oh, it took me 3 years of kind of chasing around different ideas and visions that other people have for what is important to finally be like, I want to go back home. I want to go back home. I want to have the business at home again, take on way less, focus more on who I'm making the content for, spend more time with the family, and actually have a dope little workshop at the house. That's what I wanted. Moved in, the world fell apart. Wow. Crazy stuff. So yeah, I don't just say family first because I think that it's like I don't know, like people will like it because that's like the cliche good thing to say, right? It's all about family. It's all about family. Yeah, but then you work 85 hours a week away from home. So like, is it though? Because chasing ambition is not all about family. That's all about you. And most people are very much about ourselves, myself included, for sure. Tim says, I married one from the bank. From the bank. So at least she's doing really good with what money we have. There you go. We are a single income fam. So today's YouTube income day, that goes straight to a credit card. That goes just like directly to pay for things like that. So all of this stuff is huge. And I gotta say this too, the memberships and all this stuff you guys like, yeah, just the memberships alone is awesome this month. You guys have been crushing it. the members that are joining, all the different stuff, like different levels of things, it's contributing, it's helping. So thank you guys. I'm not gonna get rich off of it, but I never intended to in the first place. And if anything, it's like it's guilting you into being here, hanging out with me. So thank you. I love that. I love that Corso Motion mentions this because he drove out to my parents' house when I was living with them before I bought this house 9 years ago, right? I think it was 2011, 2012 maybe. And yeah, we just talked so much. I used to just talk his face off every time I go visit him and pick up parts and tell him about the plan and tell him what I wanted to do and all that. That's 9 years ago. A lot of times when we text back and forth now, he's like, yeah, you were talking about this back then, but it's like, patience, dude, just forever ago. I had kind of a dream about what I wanted to do that I had no idea that it was going to mean going through all the stuff that I did. I would have been afraid of that dream. I would have ran from it, but it's good. So definitely, or is it guilting you to keep me company while I work, says Sinister. Yeah, man. A cool thing that I did learn last year when I picked up the streaming stuff was that a lot of us are doing the same kind of work, and so you kind of have this cool connection of like-minded dudes that are hanging out, and I just happen to speak their language, so they're just grinding and working while I'm yapping away, talking my face off, and they're listening to stuff. They're like, man, I feel that way. I feel that way. Or in the case of yesterday, I posted up, we did the live stream, and then in the comments, I loved it because it was such a polarizing thing, like, don't use this. And if you watch that whole video, you see that I'm talking about the benefits of Ghost for you and the benefits of saving time for you. Like, a lot of the stuff is for you guys, and the whole thing is not at all about me saying, oh, that's a bad thing, don't use Arduino because it's not good. It's friggin' dope. I loved that in the comments, it was one of those things where the guy said, such a perfect example. I use Ghost for this, but I also use Arduino to use like a PlayStation controller to turn on cool custom features. I couldn't do that if I was just relying on Ghost. I have to use Arduino, and I have the skill set to do it. It's perfect. I'm like, that guy's so dope. I'm so glad that he made that comment on there. Versus the guy who's just spending a bunch of time using Arduino to do the things that I'm saying don't use it for, and he like takes offense to it. Like I just said that his daughter's ugly. I don't know. Like, I have empathy for the dude that got his toes stepped on, for sure. Doesn't change my opinion or anything, and I don't need him to agree with me. But at the same token, for the masses, what I'm trying to say is a blanket statement, that polarizing thing about don't use this, it's what I think. And then there's the guy that comes through that's like the exception to the rule, and it makes me so happy. I'm inspired by that guy. I'm like, I want to know what he knows. That's friggin' awesome. I want to like program like a OG Nintendo controller so that I can turn on show modes. Oof, sick. I love that. Al says I'm a down-to-earth guy. Yeah, but I'm full of it. Corso Motion, what's your website? It's corsomotion.com. That was good stuff. I had a fun day. I had a fun stream. Hope you guys all do killer things. Tim says that headlight guy uses old game console remotes for some of his builds. They're sick. How about that for a video? Hey, I said don't use Arduino, but now I'm going to show you how to program a thing so you can turn on your show modes for your sequential taillights. Hey. You know? Sometimes being wrong is so good. Sometimes it's like, never use this. But if you do, OG Nintendo controller, show modes. Alright, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be back here. We're going to talk a little bit more about some of these kind of concept things that I am plugging chunks of these videos into some of my course content just for the guys that I want to have a fighting chance to make some side hustle cash, do this stuff for real, make some money, avoid a lot of the mistakes. I don't want them to do all the bonehead things I've done. I want you guys to win. I really do. I swear. I don't even care if what I say upsets people, especially if it's about a little electronic Arduino. You still shouldn't use it. Use Ghost. Get into the squad. link one last time. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be good, be safe, take care. Have patience with each other more than I do. And I'll see you in the Facebook group. All right, don't forget, join the Facebook group, get on the website, Sequential Squad. Peace.